Okay, we are live now. So, welcome everyone to the Show Season 2, Chapter 5. I'm your host, Alion Mastan, and we have an exciting dialogue scheduled for today on the topic breaking barriers and expert dialogue between a dynamic marketing and tech teams on new age emerging technology. And we have a unique conversation that is going to be between our tech professionals and our marketing team in a podcast format. This is more than a show, it's a chance to see marketing and technology come together to break barriers and set new standards. It's a groundbreaking event because this is the first time a show of this sort is having. In today's show, the marketing team will discuss questions about marketing and its role in industries like Web3, blockchain, and AI, which are our current focus areas. Meanwhile, the tech team will also explore questions related to technology. The purpose of this format is to deliver maximum value to you guys, which is the audience, and the encouraging to encourage a deeper understanding and collaboration between the teams. This show aims to bridge knowledge gap, enhance cross-functional communication, and ultimately improve execution in the specific. So are here to serve you, our audience, with valuable insights and engaging discussions. Stay with us and let's dive in and break these barriers. Now, let's get started by having each team member introduce themselves rather than me taking that particular privilege from these particular people. Now, starting with the tech team, let's hear from our chief, Anusha Garg. Over to you, chief. You can go on and introduce yourself and your entire team.
Yeah, so hi guys. I am Anusha. I work as a solution architect here at Solvas. So I am taking the lead for the Tri team or the tech team here at Solvas. So that is about me. Here with me are joining Tarun and Dushyant from the tech team as well. So Dushyant and Tarun, can you one by one introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. Hello, everyone. This is Tarun Vadde. I'm currently working as a backend developer, mainly focusing on blockchain and SSI. So, it's been over a year. I have solely been focusing on implementing SSI solutions and mainly with solvers. Yeah.
So, hello guys, I'm Dushyant. So, I'm working as a business analyst here at Solvers. So, it's been like 3 months since I've started working here. So, I basically look into the markets and then I try to simplify as much as possible with the use cases and how we can accommodate our technology into the market and then how we can integrate that into the existing system. So, yeah. Uh,
Okay. Thank you for the introduction, tech team. So now I want to pass on the mic to the marketing team. Over to you, chief. Atma, you can go first.
Okay, all right. Hi guys, I'm Atmabodh. I've been working as a marketeer for the past 10, 12 years, I think, and uh, I have been working in the Web3 space for the past 2.5, 3 years, something like that. Um and yeah, it has been a learning experience for me. And I'm also doing this because I was promised to sick leaves. We can move on.
Oh, okay. That was a really great introduction. Now I want Rohit Saab to briefly introduce him.
Yeah. So I'm Lieutenant Colonel Rohit Mishra. The prefix Lieutenant Colonel shows that I was in the army and I wasn't promised any sick leave. And I'm still wondering what is an army colonel doing with the tech team. I'm still trying to navigate my way. So I'm here with the layman's perspective, trying to understand things.
Okay,
Lovely.
lovely. Over to you, Manikanta. You can take the mic and introduce yourself.
Yes. Hello, guys. I'm Manikanta. I have total 7 years of experience in crypto and blockchain, mainly in marketing side. In Solvers, I'm working as a marketing lead. I don't take sick leaves. Even I'm in a leave, yeah, I'll work. Won't leave me to take leave.
Okay. Yeah, like I've been in there in your shoes as well, and eventually I'm also sorry for eventually telling you to make videos when you were sick as well. Okay, thank you for this brief introduction to both the teams. Now, before we proceed with our main discussion, I have a pivotal question for our marketing chief, which is Atma Bodh. And I believe this is a platform where we should definitely address this to provide the maximum value to our audience, which is the main aim for the show. And so, like, I just wanted to ask you, what is Solverse? And I believe it's an unparalleled platform, and our audience is really eager to hear about it from the stories which have been behind its inception. So, Atma, could you please explain, in your expert opinion, and in a very short and in a very simple format that even the newcomers, the beginners in the audience who are listening to us can understand that part, like what is Solverse, and can you just elaborate on what makes it such a groundbreaking initiative in this new age emerging technology space? Over to you.
Yeah, so there are two parts to this, according to me. Uh, I'll start from the initial time I started talking to Kavita and the team. So initially, when we had the discussion, I was prepared with a product analysis, and from my studies, I could only narrow it down to one thing, which a lot of people are able to narrow it down to. Okay, they're not going to be in a lot of data breaches if we go for something like this. But when I got into that call, we never talked about the product at all. What we talked about was a very philosophical question that came across, which was what really defines you, and what really makes you unique, and what really puts you in control. Do you have a system which does that? And the current identity system is really old. It's almost 78-year old. um, so there is a problem with that, because when we get any kind of identifications, or if we kind of put some attributes onto defining who we are, they are not in our control. So that was the initial philosophy, and then and eventually we figured out that in the identity space we could kind of go towards that philosophy. And the so in the identity space, we found out that there were almost 50 people in the same space. And I think what we wanted to change with Solverse was how it is applied. And to solve that, I think everyone is trying to solve that same philosophical question. Everyone is trying to find the answer to that. But what we realized was that this really needs, so the tech, a part of the tech is there, but it needs a way to translate. So to translate it, you need a suite of products, and that is essentially what we have been working on. We are sort of like developing a infrastructure for identity, so it's very easily translated amongst people. An infrastructure for self-sovereign identity, so you can also be in control, and at the same time you can actually truly be sovereign. So I can talk more, but like I think there's a time limit to this, so I'll just pass it on to Anusha before Anusha interrupts
That's
me.
great. Like eventually, it will be an take of the tech team lead as well. Over to you, Anusha. I was not expecting this, but
Yeah.
this is how the show goes. It's a conversation between teams.
Yes, so so from my perspective, I think when I joined Solvus, at that time we were working on an idea, and that idea needed translation into a product form. That how will the product look, and what will the product look, and is it technically feasible or not? So that is the point where I joined in, I think. And I still remember that roundtable conference that we had in Bangalore, sitting across the table and discussing ideas, throwing at each other things that is it technically possible, not possible, how will it be done, etc., etc., etc. And I think that 2 or 3 days that we met, I think, was somewhere. I think the starting point wherein we could finalize where this product is going. And it's been a year now, more than a year, I think, that we did that. And I think everybody on the team is glad that it happened. And there were so many things that were figured out that day. There were so many features that were figured out that day. There were so many features that came up that day. So that is the starting point of Solvers. And I think the actual idea behind Solvers was that Solvers does not want to be an only crypto or an only identity wallet. That was an ideal understanding. And Solvers wanted to provide an ID which is one ID for all. That was like maybe a motto that we had at that time when we started. So when we started, we worked on those lines, I think. And now we've grown into different things, different aspects from different places, went up hills, down hills, and now we are at the situation where the product is about to be released into the market. And I think it's been a nice journey, peaceful one. But yeah,
Yeah, and that is Solvers. So ended
Thank you
like
so
that.
much for the detailed explanation, guys. Your insights truly highlight the innovative nature of Solvers, and it's fascinating to hear like how you guys have transformed and the our interaction with both the digital and the physical spaces. And now let's dive deeper into the core of our particular discussion that we are here for today, and let's explore how emerging technologies are going to shape in the nearby future. So, with that, I wanted to kick off things by asking a question to the tech chief, Anusha. So, Anusha, I just wanted you to demystify blockchain for our audience, like in the most simplest terms possible. Like, can you just explain what blockchain is and how it's currently
okay.
being utilized in India? And the last part I would like you to address is that, moreover, what do you foresee as the key advancements and the future impact of blockchain technology will have over the next decade in the emerging technology space?
Right. So I
Anusha,
think
just there's an Aam Aadmi sitting here, a common man.
yes, I will
If I,
be in the most
if I
I
ask
will be in the
everyone.
most simplest terms as possible. Okay. Okay. So, okay, what is blockchain? So, when I first read about blockchain, it was back, I think, in 2013 or 2014 when I first got introduced to blockchain. So, my understanding of blockchain at that time was that there is a ledger, like as of now, in the centralized ledgers, in the centralized systems, also there is a ledger, right? So, in blockchain, also there is a ledger, but this ledger is maintained not by one association but by several nodes. Who are these nodes? These are computers handled by common people, right? So that is what blockchain is. It's a set of, it's a ledger which is held by a lot of nodes, or is held by a lot of nodes in a network, right? So whatever is the node network we define, or whatever is the Genesis file as in, for example, in your banking system, you will write for HDFC, you'll write that these values are stored this way, that data is handled this way. For ICICI Bank, it might be different. In the similar fashion, for Ethereum, it is different. For Bitcoin, it is different, etc. So that is what blockchain is. Blockchain is just a ledger to store transactions, right? That was the first idea of blockchain as well, that it will store transactional data, right? It was with the advancement of Ethereum that came into being that we could write smart contracts. But even while using smart contracts, what are we storing on blockchain? On the ledger, we're writing transactions only, right? That this person did this person did this, etc., etc. So kind of transactions only we are writing. Even through smart contracts, what we are writing is transactions only on blockchain, right? So I feel it's just a ledger which is held by now hundreds of people or thousands of people, like that way you can say. And um, now coming, okay, and obviously blockchain comes with its benefits, like it's decentralized. Once the data is written, it cannot be changed, it's immutable. It's transparent because everybody can see whatever data is written. The security is at par, because until and unless 51% of the people approve, nothing can be changed, etc. So with these, so many advantages come with blockchain, with the centralized systems cannot partake. Then secondly, what are the use cases in India? So I think now blockchain has become something which is being used by a lot of government agencies, etc. For example, our popular Digi Yatra, which is working at around 14 airports of India, it's using blockchain. There are so many banks that are implementing solutions that can, be to enhance their productivity, supply chains, etc., using blockchain. Then you have governments working on blockchain. Small ideas they have, they're working. In fact, there are centers of governments that are promoting blockchain. That they're teaching blockchain. They're wanting people to come and implement some small projects into blockchain. There's so many associations now that exist. That are
E-rupee.
directly.
E-rupee is also, I think, blockchain powered.
Yeah. So there are so many things that are coming up, which are blockchain part. And in fact, I think there is a stress from the Indian government as well for people to learn blockchain and implement blockchain to promote them. Like they have these schemes in which they provide fundings, etc., to good projects that are available, etc. So there are, many initiatives that are there. Now coming to your last part of the question, which was that. What benefits or what transformations that can we expect, right? I think once people are educated about what data protection is or why is it necessary that data needs to be protected, they will understand the importance of blockchain on its own, that how this data can be made public in a secured manner while saving all the information for themselves, right? Like they're exposing some parts of it that are already public, and their personal data can be secured. Once they understand why securing this personal data is important, be their financial transactions, be their personal identity, etc., that is when they will realize the power of blockchain, and that is what the change blockchain can bring in. That is the identity thefts, the banking frauds, etc., the data thefts that are going on in the market, the black market, etc. These things will come down marginally. So these are some of the advantages that I think that blockchain can quickly bring if implemented. Though obviously blockchain has this thing that implementing or changing the system from a legacy system to a blockchain based system is a very high jump. But I think we're ready for that jump now, because blockchain has made integrations very easy for us to do. So yeah, so I think that's my take on it.
Great, great, and thank you for breaking that down so clearly. It's amazing to see how blockchain is already being implemented at various sectors in India, from finance to supply chain management, and your insights in these future advancements were particularly bang on on point. But there's a story I just wanted to tell you. Like back in 2020, when I heard about blockchain, it is a very funny kind of thing. Like I just asked that opposite person, "Okay, what is blockchain? Like, is this a physical chain that you're tying with blocks?" So like this was the thing I just asked them. Like I was so lame at that particular moment in time. And is another concept in crypto known as fiat. When someone told fiat for the first time that I'll give you fiat, I just told him directly कि मेरे को fiat गाड़ी नहीं चाहिए. Then he told no, fiat is something like it is an one in crypto. You just call that fiat. So like this is how someone who is a beginner has these kind of doubts, and I believe Rohit Saab would definitely agree with me when I'm
Totally.
in this explaining these stories. And actually, really thank you for breaking down it breaking it down in a very clear manner to the entire audience. I believe they have literally gained something out of this. So now moving on, let's discuss an equally important aspect of these technologies, which is the marketing side of the thing. And I believe a lot of people in the audience to have a lot of doubts about it when it comes to the marketing part of the Web3 and the blockchain space. So now here I want to ask the marketing team as a whole. I'm not going to point out anyone, like it's going to be Atma, Manikanta, Rohit Saab, anyone, and eventually all of you guys can put take a like give your particular take on this question that I'm going to ask. Is that how does the marketing team in this particular emerging tech space approach the challenge of educating a diverse audience, from a newcomer to experienced developers and eventually the top level executives, about the complex concepts and the benefits of emerging technology like Web3, blockchain, AI, and others? I believe this is the most common question that needs to be addressed, and a platform like this is the best thing where we can have this particular conversation. So over to you guys. Anyone
So
from the
I
marketing
hope
team?
you know that you just this entire podcast is helping us with our marketing. So thank you so much for that. Right. So now let me tell you a little story of my own. I started with what's a kernel doing here. So when Kavita and me, we've been old friends, but when both of us we met and she started telling me about this, and one fine day she dropped this bomb on my head, saying that I would want you to help me with the marketing. I said, I do not even understand what blockchain is. Probably my status of what you were in 2020 is still the same, what I'm at 24, right? Luckily, the Fiat cars have gone off road, otherwise, I would have also felt the same. So, the whole idea of Kavita probably trying to infuse me into the team was to get the layman's perspective, because a little bit of research which I did said whether it is crypto, whether it is blockchain, perhaps it's just the 10% of the total population which inhabits this earth that knows about it. Now, it's only today that I get to know that DG Yatra is also based on blockchain. But however, the uses are different. And just the other day, I was sitting with some of my army friends, and they were also talking about the same thing. If any one of you read this book by George Orwell, that's called 1984, that came out a long time back, which kind of spelled doomsday for the earth. And they had this thing which became iconic that says Big Brother's watching you. Right?
Yeah, Apple had a campaign on that.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. They had a campaign specific to 1984. This is how the world will be in 1984.
Yeah. So, see, for a layman, for me to know that, I'm being tagged, for a layman to know that I have an Aadhaar, for a layman to know that I also have a DG Yatra where before I can enter my photographs already there, it can be a very unnerving experience. Right? Now, I'm not saying crying a conspiracy theory to say, okay, this is, how the government is going to look after me. But yes, I do value my privacy, and I believe there is an article on privacy, that's Article 13 as part of the Constitution. But how much of it can I actually, force the government to say, no, this is my privacy, I don't want my face coming everywhere. So with that thought, I mean, Kavita and me, we had a deep conversation, and she says, you are the person who can bring the common man's fear, the common man's perspective. And once you've understood this, then, talk to the tech team. And that is how they're going to make changes. And I was, like I said, it was interesting initially, a little confusing though, but the more I read about it, the more I spoke about it. Atma has been a big support trying to, really break it down for me. Ali, you too have been there. The tech team, of course, I'm meeting them for the first time and talking to them. And it's beautiful to understand that, Kavita didn't really need a layman, because these people understand the problem. And once you've understood the problem, and then when you're trying to make a technology, please understand it only makes things easier for the marketing team to do. The rest of them is exactly traditional. There's nothing. So the whole idea is about educating people. If I can get educated about blockchain, about identification, about everything, the ID thing and everything, so that just makes it easier. Rest of it is just a traditional market, nothing more to it. Atma would like to add to it, I'm sure.
Just to add to that. So I think one of the most important things whenever you're talking about blockchain is that the story has to be there. There has to be a story, and there is a story in place. So one of the most interesting understanding that I gained was from this movie called The Big Short. If you have seen that movie, The Big Short, right? So that is around 2008 market crash, why it happened, right? And it's very complex. It's talking about debt structures that a normal person wouldn't really understand. But they have done it in a very interesting manner, where they have used very people you won't expect to give you examples and tell you about how those financial instruments work. And it's good to like go through that, because I think that is, if you go through that movie, you'll find out what are the lapses, what have been the lapses in the system for some kind of blockchain to actually exist and become mainstream. Because that is where it started, because the banks were there were a lot of let's say in non-secure bonds, which and non-secure loans that were being given by banks. And these were highly rated, these were converted into bonds, and these bonds were rated by rating agencies. So it's like, even after that, you find out that these bonds are giving huge amount of losses, and the market is crashing. That is because it is all centralized and people don't know There is a certain kind of terminologies that you'll see financial institutions use to confuse people, right? And this is a kind of a response to that institution, that we can actually create something on our own. Now I know the feasibility of it is something we can debate on, but as a movement, to anyone to understand blockchain, you really need to go into the philosophy and history of how it started, and how it is a financial instrument. As a financial instrument, the application has really worked, I would say. It has worked, and that is why a lot of people came in, because they thought this is a place to get financial gains. But if someone actually goes back to the story, they'll really figure out why they are in this, because most of the people that are into the core of blockchain, they're here for the why. They're not here to for the gains, but for the why. So for truly anybody, if I'm going back to making someone understand what is blockchain, or if I want to market blockchain, I need to start from I need to always have that reference of that story. And apart from that, I would want to also, we need to figure out one thing that is very important, is that almost everyone would be interested in blockchain. If you tell them that Bitcoin is going crazy, everyone is interested in that, right? Everyone would be, they would like leave their jobs and they'll start investing in Bitcoins. But the real thing is that that is why a lot of people leave it, because it doesn't work. It's not like everyone is going to buy Bitcoin and it's just going to work. There are a lot of technical dependencies which are almost a lot of times being ignored, because we are 80% of the population is coming because they want gains, not understand the why. So to understand that, I think we start at that point. Anytime I'm talking to someone who wants, because this is even how I understood it, like why the hell are we doing this? So if you see blockchain is going to create an insane amount of storage issue. If you all 10 of us are on a blockchain, all of us are creating a huge amount of data, right? And we are storing it together. So that is a big issue actually. But then why are we doing this if that is the issue? And if you are able to figure out what is the reason why we are doing this, and why a huge amount of community is into this, you will very easily understand. Because it's very simple, it's very similar to a file system, very similar to a file system. It's encrypting different transactions. That is what is happening. But it is not just that. So whenever a bubble is created, sometimes it is initially created by people who have less understanding of the core of that technology. So even with AI, even when I talk to people with AI, if you go out there and you see the initial brands that were coming up for AI, a lot of them were wrapper brands. They were developing on top of something that was already created. Because, and a lot of them also stopped operations, because the core of it is still something which is still being figured out, which people are calling AGI, or general intelligence, in that sense. So I would say that anybody who's learning any technology or is even marketing any technology, they should go into the core of it. Why is that technology actually even important?
Okay. So here, I just wanted to ask, like you have given a good answer. I just wanted to put in
Thank
this
you.
particular question at this particular moment as well. So, like, what do you think is the main or the basic difference when it comes to marketing between the Web two and traditional uh, Web three system? So, like, how does that work? Like between a Web three and traditional Web two projects? And you just mentioned about some brands as well. So, like, are there any some successful example of brands that have highlighted these strategies and build their brands in the Web3 space? Like, can you just outline them and provide some knowledge to the audience about that part?
Yeah, I feel there are, like, I don't think there are a lot of differences. There are very small nuances, surely, but it's the same setup. It's the same setup. I have a distribution. I create a distribution. I have a message, and I'm gonna spread it across that distribution. The only difference might be that when I'm doing a Web two projects, when I'm doing a Web two project, I want to go out there and make customers. And with the Web three project, I before making the customer, the funnel has a community angle to it. So I would want this guy to actually participate in my idea and talk to me, give me advices, give me feedback. A lot of people that have even joined our team, they were initially giving us advices on how it should be done, how, you can do this, you can try this. So it's almost like, if I would say, the difference would be that Web3 to run a Web3 marketing campaign also, you are running like a village, right? Everyone is participating. Everyone from the neighboring projects are coming and they're helping you. So we have several collaborations. Even with the On Meta, we have collaborated with them. See, we are collaborating with IIT. So there, it's something that is going to be done with more people. I think that is the only difference.
Okay, but there is a part of community building that comes hand in hand with the marketing part, whether it might be Web 2 and Web 3. So how do you think that is particularly different in the Web 3 space and the Web 2 space?
No, I think in Web 3, in Web 2, you are more direct. You are directly selling. You are out there selling. That is given. But I think in Web 3, you are being more honest about how you are selling or what you are selling, right? So you would want to give people updates of what is happening. You're not really just, when there is a crisis in I would say, in a Web 2 company, everyone is trying to fix the crisis. In a Web 3 company, if the crisis comes, I think you sort of like ask the whole village to contribute in some way.
Understood. So one more thing I just wanted to ask you in this particular moment, like I've been to a lot of events, and all the events where I go, there are only two common questions that always arise when it comes to the Web 3 part. Is that whether if I'm a tech professional, I'm asking it both to the tech and the marketing team. If I'm a tech professional, how exactly I can start my career in this particular new age emerging sector of Web3 blockchain? And if I'm a marketing professional, what is that I should need and have to eventually start my career in that part? Can you guys eventually just shed light on that part? Because a lot of people want to know in the audience. And I even had a question from the audience, and they are saying the same thing. Like they just want to know how exactly a marketer should be in order to get started in this particular industry, and what should be the tech person be doing when he or she wants to start their particular journeys.
I think I'll go on this. So from the tech side of things, I think the first thing anybody has to look into is the interoperability. Like you're going further, you don't know how big the network is going to expand. So you should have a plan as to how you're going to support the people, how you're going to support people coming onto your network. So you should have an interoperability plan first. Like your network can actually boom in like a year, and then you can have a lot of people operating on your systems. So I think the interoperability issue has to be seen first, because you'll have to sustain that much amount of users activity on your network, right? So I think that's kind of like the very important thing first. So I think
Dushyant,
can.
I will take it. What Ali is asking is about people joining in for the first time, right? People trying to learn blockchain, right? On the tech end, right? So Ali, I think when I started in blockchain, that is the time when we do not have documentation on blockchain, right? Much documentation or tutorials on blockchain. So I started by the traditional methodology of reading white papers, I think, and implementing using the white papers. But today, I feel that blockchain is more about understanding the concept of how the whole network is working. If you want to work in blockchain in a technical perspective, you need to basically, it's not only solidity that you need to know, right? It's solidity that comes, solidity is like an option. You want to learn or don't learn, it's your choice. But I feel what is important is you need to understand how blockchain works, what a public and a private key pair is, what a wallet is, how, what the blockchain is storing, how the blockchain is storing, how do you interact with the blockchain, why do you interact with the blockchain, in what situations will it be best to interact with the blockchain, in what situation which blockchain will suit better. Like for example, if you give me a case, like you tell me, Anusha, kal id cards banane hain, like we need id cards for this team, 10-15 people, and we don't want them to be exposed to anybody else, and we need something, for in house. So maybe I'll choose a private blockchain. If I want to go for a larger scale, like a country level or something like that, I might go for a public blockchain. So that is how my mind will work. That first of all, it will choose which ledger am I working on, which will be cheaper, which will be faster, which will go, which can provide me more additional features, etc., etc., etc. There'll be there'll be these ballpark questions in my head first when I hear the requirement. So this understanding we need to inculcate. After that comes the language of implementation. I think in blockchain world, one person can never be, restricted to one language. We advance ourselves. So, like for example, I think today Node.js, Python, Go, Rust, these might be the four common languages that everybody is learning and using in the blockchain side. But I think with that, people learning JavaScript and TypeScript are also important, right, for implementation purposes of these frameworks. So after coming to these languages, these sides, you obviously need React Native, etc. So that is like you need your tech side there, but the technology front. If you want development, you need the technology, but you need understanding of blockchain, because blockchain is more of a conceptual thing rather than being writing down the blockchain, because writing part of blockchain is already done. Until and unless you want to make your own ledger or a new ledger, you don't need to write blockchain down again. So I think it's more important to conceptually understand these questions, like why blockchain, which blockchain, how blockchain, rather than maybe sitting and learning what is there inside and how can I write blockchain. So yeah, so that is from the tech perspective. From the marketing perspective, I think Atma can maybe, or Manikanta can help out better.
And from my past mistakes, like when I heard the term blockchain in 2017, I found it cool, and everybody was talking about Bitcoin because like every time I refresh the page, the price would reach 1 lakh, and then 2 lakhs, and then 3 lakhs, so like that. So I wanted to get into it, and then I actually got into it 2 years ago, without knowing what it was, why it was made, and like just like Atma and mentioned, and Anusha ma'am has mentioned, one has to understand why it was created initially in order to develop on top of that. So we have to have a specific use case, and we have to like first check if that use case fits with the blockchain part or not. So once that is figured out, then we can shift to the technical part. So and then yeah, talking about the tools, technical tools, and as a blockchain developer or as a Web3 engineer, one has to be adaptable to various technologies. Like I started with JavaScript, and then I had to learn TypeScript, and then I had to shift to backend, and then with time I had to shift to front end as well. So uh, one has to be able to adapt to different things in order to finish that initial goal that we all have. Yeah.
Okay. So from the marketing team, marketing perspective, anyone would like to add in that? Atmbai, Manikanta, Rohit Saab. It's like, what is that something that people should have in order to start? It's just that वो शुरू कैसे कर सकते हैं? How they can start? How they can go about that?
See, my take on marketing, like, sorry, Aap, you're saying something?
No. I've just, that was it. I'm just gonna say, just start.
He just wants everyone to start. He just wants, like, whenever someone wants to start, he said, okay, I'm just going behind it.
Suddenly I feel like an Olympic sprinter, on your marks and go. Well, actually, if you see, though this was just a joke about on your marks and go, but that's exactly how marketing actually is. When you have a product which is ready, you have to be before. I mean, the marketing is something that even before on your marks, ready, go, you have to have your homework done. So what exactly is marketing? If I have to simplify it further, I mean, you can have the best recipe to cook any kind of a food, but ultimately what makes it different is the kind of spices that you put into it, right? So marketing is the spice. Till the time the spices are put in place, I mean, no food is going to be complete. You'll end up having only boiled food, which probably might be good for your health and nothing more, right? So marketing, not just as a career, marketing and where to start marketing is you can just start marketing anything. I mean, if you're a storyteller, you're a good marketeer. Abn also made a mention, you have to have a story behind everything. Why this? What was the need for this? How did it come about? Why was blockchain there in the first place? Why? What was before blockchain? So marketing is not just selling something. Marketing is all about creating an awareness. Marketing is all about educating people. Marketing is all about telling people what is right and what is wrong and how to go about things. So, in a way, if you see, marketing is a lot like the education sector where you're educating people about new things that are coming, old things that are being abandoned, and what is the best part of the new thing. So, in case so, I mean, you don't really need to be, technical like the technical team to probably get into marketing. Uh, the technical people will always require us to help market. So, we are the spice, right? That's that.
Yes.
Okay.
You might
And
be the spice, but we are the
Truth
core
has been
ingredients.
spoken, Anusha.
I totally agree.
You might
100%.
be the spice, but we are the core ingredients.
I totally agree.
see, if I
And we
have,
make the food healthy.
oh,
See, I just started a fight, you see.
Just healthy. Just healthy. Use just.
We are where the taste comes in.
Exactly.
True.
if I have to some
True.
if I have to eventually tell people how exactly they should start, because eventually I'll be speaking on my particular experience. Because in 2021 I too started. I was very keen of actually, like when I heard about Web3 blockchain, मेरे को इतना ही था. I was like, okay, if there is something, someone might have written something about it. So I just started exploring things. I read blogs, I saw videos, and the biggest thing that helped me was LinkedIn. I started to go on LinkedIn. I created an account for the first time on LinkedIn back in 21. I created an account. I typed that keyword Web3, and eventually I started exploring people, connecting with them, talking to them. And when someone used to write a, like I always say that when someone used to have write a blog, and if I don't know about that concept, I would immediately go on LinkedIn and search for that, or else eventually I'll go on YouTube and search for that. And that's how things started to grow for me. And as Atma mentioned, there is not very fundamental difference when it comes to concepts of marketing in Web 2 and Web 3, and Rohit Saab too mentioned the same. It's just that one needs to be curious and just know the concepts. And if he or she is having some knowledge, then they should just start implementing these at platforms such as LinkedIn, YouTube, and anywhere. Just try to educate people, and when they are doing that, opportunities will come their way. And that's how I have been. I'm just talking from my personal thing, and it might be different for everyone else. But it's just that be curious, learn, and there is no other way. You have to outshine. You have to learn. You have to learn daily. When you are learning, opportunities will come. Just keep learning, keep exploring. Just know the basic concepts, and बाकी सब हो जाएगा यार. Chill happy. This is what I think. My option. And it was really great, like eventually having this take from both the tech and the marketing team. I believe the audience have got really great knowledge from that. And now I just wanted to add one more thing. Like when we talk about Web3 blockchain and all, we always talk about security part. Like there is a opinion made. Like when we talk about Web3 and blockchain, no, it's directly related to the security part of the thing. So my next question will be based on that, and I would like the tech team to answer it. Like security is a paramount concern as well when we talk about the emerging technologies such as Web3, blockchain, and all. So like, could you guys shed some light on the significant security loopholes that pose threats to Web3 and blockchain systems today? And what do you think are some strategies and technologies that we and the people of this world can implement to build more robust and secure systems? This is my question to the tech team. Anyone can take that question up.
So I think the first thing is people should understand what is Web 2 and then what is Web 3 before understanding the security point of view. Because they already know what Web 2 problems already are there in the market currently. They know about the centralized attacks on the centralized system, and then the data breaches and all that stuff. Before diving deep into security, I think people should understand the importance of Web 3, migrating from Web 2. In that case, they'll have an understanding as to why they're actually migrating onto Web 3, coming from Web 2. So you probably heard a few technical terms already. when it comes to Web3, like the smart contracts, your private keys, your public keys. Before all that, I think the user has to be educated what these things mean. So I think the user education is first important here. So if you ask me, like security point of view, all the smart contracts and everything, they have to be audited perfectly. Like they have to be uh, thoroughly checked before like deploying. So there's a lot of technical aspects going to that. And also there should be a response plan if something happens. So you should have a plan as to how you're gonna solve that. Like you must seen a lot of incidents recently where a lot of rug pulls have happened, and then people have dumped the projects and taken the money. So I think the user education is more important here before talking into security aspects. What do you think, Anusha, about that?
No, I second what you said. With the security loopholes, when we talk about blockchain, we say that the ledger does not hold, like ledger as in, if we see the traditional ledgers that exist, maybe, we go to the Hyperledger framework, we go to the Ethereum framework, or we go to Bitcoin framework. There are no core issues in the, algorithm at the start. But wherein the loopholes and the issues are coming is when people are implementing the smart contracts, and not maybe for some use cases we do have, definitive smart contracts that have been audited that can be used directly, which are without the loopholes. But yes, when we're writing something new, we can tend to, ignore some cases which can, lock some of the funds, which can, pose threats, etc. So basically, when we say that, as a ledger, there won't be problems. But what we're writing above it, like the D apps we're writing, or the apps that are running, for example, the centralized exchanges that are running, etc. Those can pose a threat. Those can pose a threat to the blockchain infrastructure, and that is where people get, somewhere shy away from the network. That oh, this is a new technology. This can have threats. Why should I enter it? I will lose my money. But that is what it is. That if the developers, the people making this thing, happen, are vigilant enough, and about these things, so these things can be actually avoided. And because as at the core, blockchain is a strong technology, so it can handle all that stuff. So yeah.
Great. I believe this explanation gives us a lot of confidence about security measures in the Web3 space. So now I just wanted to dwell into a specific protocol which has been making a lot of buzz lately, like which is known as, I believe, ZKP, Zero Knowledge Proofs. So I just wanted to ask here, like the Zero Knowledge Proof protocol is often highlighted for its revolutionary potential. Can you guys explain like ZKP in a way that even someone with non-technical background like me and Rohit Saab and others in the audience can understand? And additionally, if you guys can discuss about its current state, future applications in enhancing security and the privacy in the blockchain technology space, that will work for us as well.
Okay. I would like to answer that. So, in general terms, ZKP. Let me start with an example. Like, imagine you have a secret, and you don't want to reveal it, but you just want to prove that you have a secret. So, this is a ZKP. You just want to prove that you have a secret, right? So, this is an essence of ZKP. So, it's like you want to prove something to the verifier without actually revealing the information that you hold. So that's like a main example of ZKP. And in a real time use case scenario, um, let's say that you want to attend a concert which is 18 plus. So and in India you have a government ID card, Aadhaar. So you have to present your entire Aadhaar card where there are details, sensitive information regarding you, name, address, so and so. So rather than sharing the entire information that you hold, you can just share a selective attribute, which is age here. So you just want to prove that you are greater than 18. So here comes the zero knowledge proof. And here also comes the concept of SSI and like a selective disclosure, where you can select the attributes that you want to share. You can it's all user controlled. So
Right. So if I
SSI
want to
is
ask if you live in, if you are an Indian citizen, rather than giving my entire address, I can just, okay.
exactly, yeah, right. So so that is it. So SSI, like giving the control to the user rather than keeping it centralized. Rather than so here comes different applications, like there is this privacy, there is this security, and many more applications. And talking about privacy in transactions, so there is this cryptocurrency Zcash, which uses one of the ZKP protocol, ZK SNARK. So where you can submit a transaction and you can just prove that the transaction is verified without actually revealing the transaction details, like the amount, like the address and all. So just like that, in ZKP can also be used in digital identity. Uh, so even with Solverse, we are trying to achieve is the ZKP only. Actually, it has already been achieved, where we can uh, allow the user to use this feature called selective disclosure, where users can share the attributes only they want to share. So completely giving the user the control of their credential, of their identity, and everything. So yeah.
Right. Anusha, anything you would like to add on this?
I think Tarun basically summarized everything in ZKP side for us. But I think, like, just an additional point, ZKP is something that today is the new buzzword in the blockchain world, which is basically, helping us realize the importance, or, helping us save our data more, right? It's just like Tarun mentioned, it's like sharing our secrets without sharing the secrets, or proving that we have a secret without sharing the secrets. So, this is a revolution that is coming into the technology world. And once it is widely adapted, I think data theft is the one, or, data market is the one that is going to take a big hit if ZKPs come in main force on the networks. So, yeah, that is it that I wanted to add here.
Okay, so like that was a fantastic explanation from both of you guys. It was very easy to grasp and understand this. And yeah, the potential of ZKPs to enhance security and privacy within the blockchain technology is indeed revolutionary. And it's exciting to think about these various applications this protocol can have.
That's a buzzword, revolutionary.
Yeah, can have now, both now and in the future. And I believe the marketing team is using this buzzword a lot these days as well.
No,
You
we
have seen.
don't.
Bookmark, Atma, bookmark the buzzword.
So now when we are so now we have talked about ZKP, we talked about blockchain, Web3, and all. But when someone and talks about blockchain, they have to talk about market insights and crypto. And I believe we have an expert of that sort today as well. Manikanta, you haven't spoken a word, but now you have to answer this. Now finally, let's get some market insights from Manikanta. So here's my question on my mind that I would specifically like to ask Mani. Money, given your expertise in crypto and market conditions part of the things, could you provide your insights on the current market dynamics and highlight any factors influencing them? Because I believe in the audience there are some people who would like to get some insight on crypto, how things are, what is the market state. So yeah, over to you. You can now unmute yourself and have this particular conversation. Give us knowledge about this.
Uh, yes, sure. Actually, my throat was dry. I was quite silent till now. Yes, I come from a base. Like when it compares to Web 2 and Web 3, Web 2 relies on traditional advertisement and centralized control. But when it comes to Web 3, crypto, or blockchain, uh, everything will be depends on everything is nothing but marketing will be depends on the user engagement, transparency, decentralization, and token incentives. So, market sentiment will affect a lot on price changes because sentiment shift due to news, event, and market performance can lead to volatility in the rapid price change. So these things can change the price and crash the market. And even currently, market is experiencing volatility due to regulatory developments and technological advancements as well, and also regulatory clarity. Because see, in some regions, they are specifically giving the tax of 30% for the crypto or blockchain, but there is no regulator clarity on the crypto market. I mean, crypto industry. They are not given any permission. There is no regulatory um, permissions or documentations for the crypto industry. So, so nobody wants to take the risk, and even these marketing sentiments affecting negatively. Additionally, due to some countries' inflations and also interest rates, uh, impact on investors, what it says. Um,
So, do you recommend to buy the dip?
no, actually, crypto is unpredictable. So whatever can happen, you should not recommend anything.
Okay,
So
perfect. Safe
what
thought.
you just want need to do is,
See,
Diplomat.
give financial advice on this show. I just don't want this show to get banned. You can't give financial advice on the show.
No, you can give financial advice.
yes,
Basically,
yes,
buy Soul Coins, guys.
yeah.
But it's
Yes, you can give advice, but before giving the advice, just provide straightforward explanation of what is the token is and what is it use cases and what is the benefits. And also, as we know, we are very honest about potential risks. We are openly talking about market conditions, and even we posted a newsletter about postponing our launch
Right,
by the care of market conditions and our users as well.
right.
okay. So, like, I have a question from our chief boss, Kavita Madam, and she has dropped it in the comment section. And that question goes like this: anyone can answer, anyone can answer, but I believe it's specifically for the marketing team. Like, can you guys explain how the community's expectations of rewards is affecting the projects? This is indeed a great question.
Yes, I'd like to add something, not full explanation. See, uh, when it comes to Web3 marketing, doing the airdrops and giveaways through the communities in our own community and different communities will take the major part. But whatever the tasks or information we include in that airdrops or giveaways, yes, even we planned, Atma suggested that tasks, educating the people of communities through our tasks and events or any airdrop or giveaways will take the major parts, like study about the project, study about the industry, and answer the quizzes, and create the blogs and get the rewards. So doing these type of structures will give the knowledge about the project or product, and even users also getting the reward for learning.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's more about that. It's more about what are we rewarding them with. I think a lot of times what happens is that a lot of some projects, what they do is they concentrate more on giving rewards rather than giving information. So I think both of those things work hand in hand. So you need to get attention, but the way of getting attention has to is where you really experiment. I think that even exists in even Web2 spaces where people give offers. All of those things do exist, but eventually it is the kind of brand association that I have really that really matters in the end for me to actually purchase it. No matter whatever the discount is. So that is even relevant here. People are going to be attracted to, you will have a lot of community members who want to first get something in return, and that's fine, because we are, before giving anything, we want to give you everything about what we are working on. So I think that is the best currency here, and everything else comes secondary.
Thank you, guys. And I believe I agree upon the take that you guys have given. Your insights are invaluable for understanding the current market dynamics and what the communities want when they talk about specific projects. So now, team, all right, let's dive into a new segment that we have created for this particular show, as I had both the marketing and tech teams on it to provide the maximum value to the audience, which is the myths and facts segments. And in this, I will dive into common myths and facts surrounding the new age tech, tech space, where I'll present a statement and I would like you guys to clarify whether it's a myth or a fact and provide some insights on that particular topic in question. So let's start with the tech team.
I think Kavita ma'am has a question here. Like, how is the lack of identity infrastructure influencing SSI adoption? So, yeah, I'd like to talk about that. So, right now the system is really broken, and if we play our cards right, we can make some drastic changes into this space. Like, we already have the data available. We just need to play our cards right, and then have a robust implementation. So if we do that, I think the entire identity infrastructure will have a revamp to its legacy system. So far, I think Web3 is going in the right direction when it comes to SSI adoption. The future really holds a lot regarding this space.
Anyone would like to add anything to that? Anusha, Atma?
Not really.
Uh,
I think that is enough
yeah,
from me.
I think
Not,
yeah.
I'm not answering for you. Please go ahead.
नहीं आत्मा कर लो. I don't mind.
Okay, cool. Let's move on.
Okay, so now let's just start that new segment, the mix and facts. So first, I would like to go with the tech team.
Arey, but
So,
she was saying, at
huh?
least clear her out.
I'm not saying anything. I was saying I second what Dushan
Okay,
says.
new segment.
Okay, so do you want to add anything in that, Anusha, or we can move forward?
No, we'll move forward. And I'm going
Okay,
to give the myth and fact section to Tarun and Dushyant entirely. I'm going to sit silent in this section.
okay.
Talked a lot.
So now the first question is that Web3 is only about cryptocurrency, myth or fact?
Myth,
Yeah, that's
because Web3 is much more than just cryptocurrency, because it represents a new phase of internet focused on decentralization and like allowing user to have control of what they hold, like identities or cryptocurrencies or anything. It's more than just a cryptocurrency because it's a technology. Yeah, and there are multiple use cases more than cryptocurrency.
yeah. There are also dApps and stuff like that, which can be added.
आत्मा भाई रील मिल गई जवाब मिल गया so we can make this as a reel and promote it कि now everyone who wants to know like is web3 and blockchain is only about cryptocurrency they will have a particular clarity on this so वो editor साहब कट कर लेना इसको डालना है he will eventually put this in next question goes so like blockchain and web3 are all about hyping for pumping and dumping schemes myth or fact
I think that's partly myth. Like, depending on the project and depending what they solve, people have to do their research. And if a project is actually solving something, then it's actually a legitimate project. Just like Solverse, how we're actually trying to solve the identity issue. So, yeah, depending on the project, people have to base their decisions.
okay so like problem solving
And
should be the
I believe it's a myth because while some people use blockchain and cryptocurrencies for speculative purposes, but the technology itself has many legitimate use cases. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So now moving on to the third question. Only large scale industries can adopt emerging technology trends. Myth or fact?
Yeah,
Myth.
that's also I don't know, like it's a myth
Can I
actually
say this?
because
I'll chip in. I can't stay silent. It's a myth, obviously. Come on, most of the people who are trying to adopt Web3 today are, startups who are starting to build
Startups
up,
and
I think, right? So Web3 comes with an application for everybody, be it small startup, be it a big company, be it an established association, be it a government association, etc., etc., etc. You name it, and I can give you a use case. So, or you name the use case, you tell me a problem, I can tell a solution using blockchain. So it is for all. It is not for only one. Yeah.
Okay, so we can use it as a tagline as well, like blockchain and Web3 is for all, not only for a specific large scale industries. Moving on to the next thing,
मुझे फोन
like
दो मैं तुम्हें यूज केस दूंगा.
why are you just behind her life? Like whenever it's time to answer something,
No,
it's
this is
time
an
to
addition to that point.
asking her again and again. Next time she will not be a speaker on the show, and that's how my work will get hampered. Okay, so moving on, is SSI nothing more than just
Just let
digitizing
this
the
call
things?
end. I will give him work.
Okay, guys, we can take this offline. That works. After this call, we'll have that discussion. So now the next question is for me. For that myths and facts segment is that SSI is nothing more than digitizing the current system. Is it the myth or fact?
myth.
Myth.
Because SSI goes beyond just sorry, digitizing like
The current systems.
existing systems. Yeah, because it enables privacy, it enables security, and it gives user control of their identities. So it's
Okay.
more than that.
So the next myth and facts question is blockchain equals anonymity. Myth or fact?
uh,
You
I'm in
want
the
me to
middle.
go?
Like, I'm in the middle. I believe it's a myth because blockchain provides transparency, immutability, but not necessarily anonymity, because the addresses are still visible, right? So that is why. So someone who
And
knows
I feel it's
that
a fact. And I feel it's a fact. Until and unless somebody knows you by your address, which is like very far off situation, because I won't even remember my address. So I am anyway anonymous. I am anonymous to me, I'll say. So I think blockchain does bring a certain aspect of anonymity, which enhances the security on the networks. So I think it's a mixed set of you can say answers to the myth and fact side, because different people might have different views on this. You can say it is anonymous, you can say it is not anonymous, but I will go with it. It's anonymous because it increases security that way.
Interesting. So, all right, team, it's time for the marketing team to debunk some myths and share some facts. So, now my first question for the marketing team is like AI advancements will completely replace manual marketers and take their jobs. Myth or fact?
That's a myth.
Rohit, this is for you. What are you gonna say to that?
Totally myth.
Right?
AI cannot replace, the humans.
Right.
So total myth. So in case if somebody is wanting to get into marketing and is getting scared that AI is now coming, so let's not get into marketing, should totally throw this thing in the nearest dustbin that they find and get on with it.
Yeah.
Great, great take, Karan Saab. I believe people now will get clarity on that. If you want to start marketing, the Joe thing about AI is going to take you up. It's just there to help. That's it. Now, my next question is Web3 technology is too complex for the average consumer to understand. Myth or fact?
A myth. If I can understand it, anybody else can.
Great. Okay. Next question. Emerging technologies like blockchain and AI can operate effectively without regulatory oversight. Myth or fact?
I think it's half fact, half myth, because it can probably someday, but right now it can't. Definitely, I
Right
think
now,
we need that.
we need a framework that can eventually put some regulations on these newest technologies. Next question. Blockchain technology has limited use cases outside of finance. It's definitely a myth. I myself will answer this. This is a myth.
Arey,
Blockchain has a lot of use cases other than finance, that is supply chain
Ali
management and others.
question we could answer we could.
Eventually, I was
मैं
silent.
मैं थोड़ा
Ali
छोड़
is
देता हूँ.
like Ali is like I am also in the marketing team. I should also answer one.
I am in the middle. I'm not working in tech team, marketing team, everything. I just wanted to answer this, so I just gave that answer myself.
Ali, you know what we are planning with Soulverse. You know, we're getting into the universities. You know, we're getting into the education space. You know, we're getting into government sectors. We're getting into just about anything and everything. And I'm not going to reveal things on this thing now, but the past few days, the contracts that we've been signing, they've been from different industries.
Yeah, like it was a common question that I researched and got. That's why I just wanted to put that on the show.
So
And
I thought I'll add my 2 cents.
yeah, sure. And the last question, when it comes to the mix and facts, the success of a Web3 project is primarily determined by its technology, not its marketing efforts. Is it a myth or fact?
Can I have some of the souls
It's
from
a
Game of
it's a
Thrones coming
controversy.
out?
This is a controversial question and it has been particularly made by me. I want you guys to take. That's it.
So you putting a war between tech and marketing team.
It's not a war, it's a respective game. So, yeah, over to you guys.
It's
Share
already
your
a
What
war.
tech makes we market? So what tech makes we market? If the tech's not making anything, we're not marketing anything.
Yeah, like
Even
the
the avatar which we sell is going to be, there has to be a farmer sitting somewhere at the back. So without them, we're nothing.
right.
And
Like
with
like
this, I want to show
I will the tech kind of like cooks the rice and the marketing fries it.
I believe it's one of the most exciting answers that we have on the show, and this definitely has to be taken out as a clip. I would definitely want people to know about this, about the unique concept you have showed. Example and giving it a example of food. That was great, bro. That's why you're the chief. Okay, so now we came to end to the myths and facts segment. Now, here there is this last segment where I wanted to give a common question for both the teams. Like this common question has a lot. Like I believe this has to be addressed, and each and every person, whether it's a newcomer, whether it's an experienced professional, top level executive, should know about this. And the industry as a whole should have a knowledge about it. Is that this common question I would like to pose both to the tech and marketing team, because it needs to be addressed in the following lines are: the issue of stakeholders and the cloud caches in the Web3 space is a significant concern. So, like, could you guys explain what these problems involve and discuss the strategies and technologies we can implement to mitigate these challenges? Please simplify your explanation so that even beginners like me can understand this. Let's have the team that wants to start first, then the next team can add their perspective. And this is the final question of the show, and I wanted to end this on a high note of providing value to the industry as a whole, not just a beginner or targeted to a professional top level executive. It is for everyone.
Okay, who wants to go first? Anusha?
Atma, you go first time. So Atma, take this question and I'll pitch in. You start.
Okay. Okay. So I think I wouldn't say so. I saw myself as a cloud chaser at a certain point. When I started, I was so. I think one interesting thing about crypto space and the Web3 space is that a lot of people don't know a lot. So you can just like say anything You can just go and you can say, this technology, this is like magic, and there would be people who will just believe it. And that is even where I was at a certain point. So you would say, oh, I figured it out. Every day, if you're in the blockchain space, every day you'll wake up and you'll be like, oh, I figured something out today. And that just continues. And so I think a lot of people like me would start as a cloud chaser because it is interesting, it is the revolutionary thing. And eventually, day by day, you kind of become stakeholder. So now today I know that, so if to give an example, if we have a bank that is run by 10 people and you have 1 lakh people transacting, it will become difficult for that bank to process your payments, right? And I think a lot of times what happens is that when the influx of people who enter as cloud chasers and then they are eventually becoming stakeholders, the gap becomes too big for the people who are working in the core, who have always been the stakeholders. So in this case, if we have more nodes, I think those people are the stakeholders in that case. And people who come in because they're interested, they think this is going to give them financial gains, like me. We take our time. So maybe I think it is eventually going to get balanced. Yes, right now there is a little bit of imbalance there, not a little bit, but yeah, I think eventually we'll see more and more stakeholders in this space.
Great. Tech team.
Yeah, I think the cloud chasers is mostly because they don't look at the long-term vision of the project. They just want to have quick gains. So they try to.
Okay. Yes, I will.
I think we lost you.
Dushyant,
Yep.
you can continue your
It's us
answer.
3 now. It's us 4 now.
Yes, Anush, you were saying something.
No,
Please
no,
go
no.
ahead.
I was not interrupting you. You can finish, and then then I'll go.
Yeah, like I was saying, the cloud chasers is usually because of those who actually don't look at the long-term vision of the project. They just want quick gains, so they just come into the market. They just look for a way out to make some cash and then get out of the project. That kind of hampers the project as a whole and then the market as a whole as well. And if a project is like they really want to do something, and then these cloud chasers try to come and then put a wrench into it, that's like a big problem.
Like, what do you mean these cloud chasers?
Okay.
Are you
The ones
Some cloud.
Yeah, I would add something.
You don't target him, okay?
Okay, so like here, I would add something. I believe that stakeholders in Web3 include developers, investors, users, each with different interests. Now, cloud cashers are those, I believe, who jump into the Web3 project for fame rather than genuine interest. To mitigate this, I think we can use transparent blockchain technology to ensure accountability and smart contracts to enforce rules automatically. And to address this from the marketing thing, I believe we need strong community management and clear communication. Educating our audience about the true value and potential of Web3 can help build a more dedicated and informed user base. And if would anyone from the tech and marketing team would like to add something to this, they can add. Like, this was my take on this question.
No, I think all three of you summed up. I think all three of you summed this up very nicely. I don't want to add anything now.
Okay. And eventually, thank you to the team for breaking down this in such an accessible manner. It's clear that stakeholder and cloud cachers can create significant hurdles in the Web3 ecosystem, and addressing these issues should be a vital for the growth of any project in this particular space. So now I believe we have come to the end of this great show that has been the longest show as of now. It's of 1 hour 15 minutes. Like, that's a lot of time. So like,
Yeah,
thank you
man,
all.
2 sick leaves. You gotta do it.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us today. It has been an incredible session filled with valuable insights. Let's have a big round of applause to all our guest speakers from our tech and marketing team. Because if I'm not going to do this after this call, they're not going to join again as speakers ever. So we have to do it. Okay. So now we hope to see you again at our future show. That now I have given you a round of applause as well. So thank you everyone for joining us, and follow Solverse for updates on upcoming events and stay connected with the latest in technology and innovation. And do join us for more insightful sessions. Have a great evening, everyone. This is the entire Solverse team signing off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.